Hi everyone, so this is obviously a Star Wars video. This is an interesting thing. Now, I don't watch Star Wars Rebels. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've just never gotten around to watching it myself. But I watched a video for season 2, the mid-season premiere, more or less, of it. And I gotta say, they're going into some interesting routes with this series now. Because remember, everything now is canon in the Star Wars universe that comes out. So Rebels is a canon universe. What's interesting is the fact that it looks like they're tying stuff into Force Awakens and the future trilogy films. One second, I just want to adjust so I can lean back and actually be on screen. Because I watched the trailer. I've watched it a couple times because I've watched some people react to it. I watched Christian Harloff and John Campea react to it on Collider, and I gotta say, there's definitely some things that are unique in it. One of the big things I noticed was the Gray Jedi. Now, the Gray Jedi, I had to look them up, but the Gray Jedi are essentially the in-between between Jedi and Sith. They are technically Jedi, but they embrace a balance between the dark and the light. That there needs to be both. There needs to be passion, but control, emotion, serenity. There needs to be the balance. They will protect the balance if they end must. There's like evil. Evil is a must, but it must not be allowed to flourish. I'm kind of quoting their oath. So we see their symbol. We see these the way they look. They almost look like they're wearing kendo equipment. And we see them, and you see the fact they use white lightsabers, which is fascinating. And you also show that Ahsoka Tano uses one at the moment, so maybe she was a part of the Grey Jedi for a little bit to learn a bit more about it. But the fact that we're getting introduced to that, making them canon again in the universe, makes me wonder, what do we have in store for something like, assuming that the Grey Jedi aren't wiped out in some way, shape, or form, or that we'll go to them again in the future. Episode 8? Episode 9? Could we see something to do with Grey Jedi, with the true in-between Force users? It's an interesting question. I mean, could we even see Grey Jedi themselves? I don't think we'll see Grey Jedi themselves. Don't think. But then again, it would be a good contrast to, the light and the dark, and then you have these new individuals, Son and Papa. It's like, there is no light. There's no light. There's no dark. There's just the Force. We represent that. That would be that'd be cool to find out that's what Luke's done. Think about that for a second. What if Luke has finally come to accept the little bit of dark side that is in him because of the fight between him and his father? And what if he's just like, no, I still think he'd have his green lightsaber, not a white one. But what if he's found the balance? But I don't think that's the case, simply because Kylo Ren went strictly to the dark side and he feels bad about that. So I don't think that's the case. But moving on, there's two other real main ones. Overall, it looks like a fun second part of the season. But I don't think I'll watch it. I might watch clips just to find out about one character, and that one character is called the Old Master. Now, apparently Ezra, the main character, is starting to be kind of nudged over to the dark side a little bit. The dark side calls to him, as it's said. And clearly he's going to get some help from this character called the Old Master. Now, we don't know who the Old Master's real name is, but if you look at him, and he doesn't sound like Andy Serkis, but if you look at him, he looks suspiciously like Snoke. He looks very tall. You only see a close of him, but he looks very gaunt, very old, very thin looking. Looks very itchy. Nothing like that. And if you look at him, if you think of what Snoke would look like, say, I'm just doing the math on that real quick. Rebels takes place, I think, 10 years before. It doesn't take, maybe not 10 years. It takes place like a couple years before the events of New Hope, or maybe even during the events, something like that. But if you just scale up 33 years or 35 years, because you gotta take time frame between New Hope and Jedi into account, you could see where this guy is maybe just a slightly younger Snoke. But it's interesting because it's interesting to understand what part Snoke, if this is Snoke, played during this time in the Empire and Star Wars history. Apparently he played a major role in the Clone Wars, a big role in the Clone Wars, but I don't know exactly what that role might have been. And we know he was there during the whole time of the Empire. He witnessed, apparently, the fall of Vader and the Emperor. He even comments that the fall of the Empire was not due to some... I can't remember the exact quote, but basically, do you know what the fall of the Empire was? And Kylo Ren says, like, serenity, not serenity, compassion, sentimentality. That was what he said, sentimentality. It's like, yes, is when the father failed to kill the son, namely Vader, trying to kill Luke. But yeah, I think that's interesting that we have this character called the Old Master, who we don't know his name at the moment. We only saw a brief hooded for a vision of him, but just from the way he looked in that, he looks suspiciously like Snoke. / maybe Plagueis? Moving on. So, the one other thing to touch on is that Ezra, the main character, finds a lightsaber. That or rebuilds it. I think he finds it. It's a green lightsaber, and it's a crossguard lightsaber. It is a crossguard lightsaber, a green one. Now, where he finds this, how he finds this, I don't know. Does he use it as his own? That's interesting. That's an interesting idea to go by. And if he does use it as his own and maybe goes to the dark side, will he change it to a red color and basically become like a pre-Kylo Ren? I couldn't tell you, to be honest. It'd be interesting to see if that is the case. Also, it's interesting to note how that lightsaber style looks when the crystal isn't broken, because the crystal in Kylo's is cracked. That's why it's all jaggedy and menacing and just chaotic looking. But when the smooth blades, it looks very streamlined, and actually it looks cooler when it's kind of broken, to be honest, with the chaotic blade more than just a normal blade. But it's interesting to note where they're actually taking. They're actually They look like they're integrating more of the Legends lore with the Grey Jedi, and a lot of the Force Awakens stuff slowly into this to make it all kind of connect in a big picture sort of way. So I think that's interesting. Now, will we see other stuff? Probably, depending on how many seasons Rebels gets. Well, maybe we might even get a tie into Rogue One or a young Han Solo. Who knows? But it's interesting to see how Rebels is kind of taking things at the moment. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Tomorrow, don't want to do that video tomorrow. I think I'll save that for maybe... I don't know. I do have an extra video besides... Oh, well, tomorrow I got the DC Cinematic Universe stuff on CW to go over, plus the new Suicide Squad trailer. So I got that. Plus, I might have a different video up. If I don't do it tomorrow, I'll do it maybe Wednesday or Thursday. But I'll get to the video I'm talking about. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Good night, everyone.